Hey, good morning. It's Mark here again. Going to go over a little bit of news. I've been pushing this load, so I haven't had a chance to get on here as much as I wanted. I did do a Facebook Live question and answer because I got some questions from people who had DM'd me through Messenger, so I'm assuming they're on Facebook. But I'm up here in Pennsylvania. I got here yesterday. I was projected to get here about 2 hours after the grace period, so instead of taking the late fees, they went ahead and just rescheduled my load for today. So, I've been sitting here 20 hours now doing nothing. That's kind of the way that works. Run, boy. But when you get there, just sit. Well, it's because I changed it all the time. But anywho, I thought getting here within 2 hours was pretty good considering what they put me on, so. And I lost that much and a little bit more probably due to construction on the interstate, and I ran into several wrecks that I had a long wait traffic for. So I could have pulled it off if everything went right, but everything had to go right to make that happen. It didn't quite go quite as right. So yeah, I'm up here. It's about 49 degrees, overcast. There's still some snow on the ground up here. I got to deliver this load today, and then I'm going up to Lowville, New York. It's actually pretty far north into New York, but I've been there several times. They make the Philadelphia cream cheese in New York. It is what it is. It's a good place to go. But I'm going up there to pick up a load to take to Southern Ohio, and I deliver on Monday, and then that's normally the spot that I go home from, and I'm wanting to go on home, and they know that we're all on schedule, so I'm going to make the assumption that is the game plan, that I'm going to go to Ohio and then go home, and that works out really good. So they did a good job at making that happen this time, even though I had to put it off 2 weeks, so I don't know if that's a wash or not, but it is what it is. I'm trying to work on my my glucose level. I think I told people in some of my videos, I can't remember which ones anymore, but I do have diabetes, and my A1C, my last A1C was a 7.7. We're trying to bring that down, and I've done real good in the past with exercise and stuff like that, but in the truck I can't exercise quite well. Well, the last couple of weeks have been really rough on me because I haven't been able to select excuse me I haven't been able to select my food. I basically had to take whatever they had available because of the snowstorms where I was down in Texas, and they just didn't have a great selection of anything. So my sugar's a little high today, and it's been high for the last couple weeks, and I'm getting a little concerned about it. I say that because I would have thought I've been eating better and making better choices long enough. I should have started to see that go down some, I thought, but it's not necessarily reacting the way I want it to. So I gotta put a lot of energy into that here the next couple of days and make sure I bring that down. So that's kind of what's on my mind. The other things on my mind is I got asked a question that the question was, what do you think is going to be the hardest part about you? I don't know the exact words they use, but I remember in my mind it stuck that when you're going to reclaim your witness, you're going to. I think the hardest part about telling anybody about God and talking about sin in general is the dilemma that we all face, which is how do you do it without offending or making people upset. I think that's the biggest problem. I think a lot of people don't witness or don't share their beliefs and their thoughts because of that. They don't want the drama that comes with that. I can tell you I made a lot of mistakes over the years doing that. When I first became a Christian, I preached to everybody. I don't foresee me taking that approach at this point. I didn't like the results I was getting. It seemed like I was off-putting people. So, not a big fan of that. I think it's probably better to be compassionate, talk in general terms, not directed at a certain person. I don't believe you should drag somebody to the altar, as they say. And I don't believe you beat the people over the head with the Bible, and I don't believe you bludgeon them. I just don't think you do that. And I know a lot of people do. A lot of people are very, very bold and go out there, and they just walk up to people. And you need to know this. This is so important. It is very important, and there's a way to get that across without offending people. And I'm also a 100% believer that our actions are probably a better witness than any words or speech can give. This is my opinion.
Home. Messaging. You have 8 hours and 0 minutes of remaining drive time.
Getting ready to pull out here in just a few minutes, and Jill's talking to me. So I think that's probably what I'm worried about the most. Who are you to tell me this? Didn't you do this? Didn't we hear a report or a rumor that you did this and you did that? So who are you? Why are you saying this to me? Those are the kind of the things that I'm worried about. Those are the things I'm worried that the devil's going to get a hold of and, make my life difficult to get the message across. And I think that's where I've said I don't think I could be a preacher. I don't think I could, be to the point that people would want to actually follow me, because, man, I don't know that people will look past things like that. Now that's where I think your salt has lost its flavor. I don't think I can have the impact that I had before, but doesn't mean I can't still tell people about God. So I think as Christians we get into a bubble, and our bubble is our routine, what we do day to day. We go to church, we go to we're surrounded by our family, we've got our day, we've got our kind of like our little itinerary that we do every day, and then we go home, and what do we project and what do we say is normally limited to the people we feel comfortable with. And I'm not saying that's wrong, because I do believe that if every family if every person got their family saved, then wouldn't the whole world be saved? So, it can very well be just a local thing that you're witnessing to and talking to. So, there's nothing wrong with that. I think you've got to be comfortable with what you say, but I think sometimes you can't be afraid to say the truth. You got to say it in a way that's compassionate and loving, and trust me, I have an awful hard time doing that. I've been told I come across as very condescending sometimes. As a matter of fact, I've heard me say some things and walk away going, man, you sound horrible. What are you doing? So I know I can come across wrong and rub people the wrong way with what I say. So I just gotta. That's why I use more of a general term to address people and the sin. I try to address the sin, not the people. Me personally, now a pastor is going to do it totally different. You got to understand that the level And if you've accepted certain responsibilities within the church, then your level of this is going to be a lot different than what mine would be. So, I know as a supervisor, we had different techniques that we used. We had, a positive, negative, positive speech. So if you got something that somebody needs to work on, you try to give them a positive about their performance, then give them a negative, and then you give them another positive so that you leave on a positive note. That was one technique. Another technique is you give them the negative up front, and then you give them a positive so you're leaving on a positive note. And then there's even more, but you never just want to give the negative. If you're trying to honestly change somebody's behavior, or you're trying to encourage somebody, you can't just give them negative, because they're going to walk away with a negative thought, for whatever reason. You always want to wrap it around some positive, and that helps. That's a technique that softens the blow for a lot of people. So you got to be careful. Care how you approach that, I think. And that's just, this is just one Kentuckian's opinion. I'm not saying about anybody else, but that kind of seems where my thought process lies. Is we got to wrap our criticisms up with kindness, and we got to back that up, and we need to help people. If someone's struggling with something in particular, and you go to them and say, "Hey, I noticed this. Anything I can do to help you? You need me to pray for you? Do you need me to be an accountability partner? How can I assist?" And I think that speaks more volumes than just, I'm going to pray for you, or I see you struggling over there. You see me struggling, help me. And I think that's important for us to understand and address the situations as they are. I'm not sure if that, we'll see how this goes. Not the video thing, but the, me trying to witness more. There might be certain things that are just that pop up that I don't see and that I don't anticipate. But there's a lot of people out there that know my behavior, so there's going to be a lot of obstacles to overcome. But it's like I said, you can't give up. What's the alternative? If you know what's right and you don't do it, then that's wrong. So I want to get to heaven, so I can't just give up. I can't just throw my hands up and say, "Yep, I've ruined my life. I don't, I have no clue what else I'm going to do." We're going to still pursue every aspect that we can to try to, get to where we get to heaven. I know God's real. I know God loves me. I know God loves you. And I know God's got plans for us. So there's that. There's that. So that was the question I had today. We'll see. I'm real nervous about it, if you can't tell. Just gotta put one step forward and keep going. It's just really hard in today's society, but that's why it needs to be done. So as far as my life, I should go home next week. I'm going to renew my CDL and try for my hazmats. I don't see any issues. I got past the background check. I just got to take the written test. I don't want to go over politics right now. I had a question asked to me about politics. I don't want to go over it. I just don't kind of feel like it. I'm not saying I'm in a bad mood about it. I'm just saying that I haven't found that positive to wrap around that negative yet. I think that's really about it for today. I'm getting ready to drive. I'll probably drive all night and then get there and load in the morning and then head towards Ohio and then go home. All that sounds good. Saw a video yesterday of my nephew, or my grandson. Nephew, I almost said that. But man, he's just growing. Man, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. Got some good parents. Definitely got good grandparents. Who would ever doubt that, right? But got some good parents going right now. They're young, so one of the hardest things, this is just a side note, and I know people who's got kids that has grown up and left the house, you understand this totally, but one of the hardest things is you've given your children instructions their whole life. You've kind of pulled them aside, you've taught them, and you've kind of said, hey, this is probably the best for you. Have you thought about this? When they get to a certain age, you just got to sit back. I mean, I still give my advice, but it's less forceful. It's just something I've got to try to work on myself. It's been a struggle early on. The last year or so has been a lot better, but I kind of forgot, or just hadn't realized, is probably a better way to say it, that Ryan was on his own, and he would make a mistake, or I'd see him getting ready to make a mistake, and I'd be like, no, and he'd be like, what, do what I want, and he's right. He's an adult, so they're young. They're some of their decisions, they're not what I would make, but my dad used to say, and I totally agree, it's a God-given right to be wrong. So it's their right. I mean, I'll give them my advice, but and I'm there for them if they ever need somebody to pick them up and help them, and I say that with all due respect. They're doing a great job with Asher, so it's not like they're putting anybody in danger. They're just growing steps. They got to learn. They got to work together. They got to decide. Well, every family's different. You can't mimic your mom and dad, because you and your significant other are not your mom and dad. So when you come together to make decisions, you're not going to make the same decisions that your mom and dad did, and that's kind of the situation there. They've got to come together and make their decisions themselves and do what they think is right, and to be able to live with each other and have their relationship grow. And at this point, Asher's flourishing. He's doing great. So, hats off to them. They're doing a good job. They're young, but they're doing a good job. Something else I want to throw in there, and I know if Ryan sees this, he's going to say he's talking directly to me. Maybe, it is inspired by Ryan, no doubt, but don't give up on your dreams. One of the things that I was really worried about with Ryan as he was growing up is that he put himself in a position to where he had to live paycheck to paycheck, and that the job was going to rule his life. As a supervisor, I've seen that happen to so many people, and as a matter of fact, it happens to me. But you get locked in on that money, and then all of a sudden you got to make that amount of money because you've got all your budget set on it, and if you want to improve your life, you got to make more money. I mean, that's just common sense. But oftentimes, to pursue your dreams, you got to go backward to go forward. You got to take less money to get some training and what have you. But I say this with all due respect, is don't lose your dreams. Put yourself in a position to where you can accomplish your dreams. And, as parents and grandparents, it's our job to support those people to accomplish those dreams. So don't give up on them. You might, unfortunately, you might have to postpone them a little bit, but don't give up on them. If what you want to do in life is something different than you're doing right now, and you're doing it right now because your family needs you to do it, that is, that's a father and mother's sacrifice to their family. That's a huge deal, and should be commended for that, but at the same time, don't give up on that dream, what you really want to do. Keep it. Hold on to it. So, I think that's about it for today, folks. So, listen, I'll probably talk to you in a couple days. I don't know about tomorrow, unless something happens that I feel like I need to share with people. But God bless everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. Shout out to my family. Love you all dearly. My brother just started a new job. Good job. Good job. I'm proud of you. So, that's who we are. Keep moving forward. We can't stop. We can't quit. Got to keep moving forward. So anyhow, love everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. And talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.